Good morning, I'm the Reverend Steve Page from St. Patrick's Anglican Church, and you're listening to the daily devotionals sponsored by the Hudson Bay Ministerial. This month I'm drawing our images of Christian faith and spirituality from the wonderful, sometimes weird, world of sports. Now this July and August, the Summer Olympics will be played in London, England. Some 10,000 athletes from more than 140 nations will gather and compete in more than 300 events, vying for the glory of Olympic gold. Now 20 years ago, the 1992 Summer Olympics were held in Barcelona, Spain. Two American athletes were heavily favored in the decathlon. That's a two-day competition involving 10 different sports. There's the 100-meter sprint, the long jump, the shot put, the pole vault, high jump, and 5 other track and field events. These Americans, they were named Dan O'Brien and Dave Johnson. And they were so highly regarded that the sneaker company that sponsored them ran ads asking, Dan or Dave, who's better? So Dan and Dave went head-to-head in the Olympic qualifying trials. And after 7 of the 10 events, Dan was doing very well. In fact, he was on a pace to break the world record for the decathlon. Event number 8 was the pole vault. And Dan was very confident. After all, he was the American record holder for the pole vault. He declined to attempt the first 4 heights, saving his energy for a higher setting. His competition attempted the lower heights, and some succeeded, while others failed and were eliminated. So with the bar set at 15 feet 9 inches, Dan made his run. He took his pole and he took at it, but he missed his first try. But that was okay. You get 3 cracks at it. Well, on his second jump, he got up and over the bar, but he bumped it off on the way down and it fell to the ground. Well, that left one more attempt. On his third and final attempt, Dan didn't get the height he needed and wound up passing just under the bar. Well, 3 faults meant he was out. And since he had not tried any of the lower heights, he wound up with a score of 0 for the entire event, number 8. And because of that 0, Dan finished the decathlon in 11th place and failed to qualify for the Olympics. Now, had he cleared the pole vault, he would have had enough points to finish first. Had he cleared even one of the lower heights that he skipped, he would have finished no worse than 3rd. But as it was, his pole vault failure led to disaster, and his arch-rival Dave Johnson went to Barcelona and took home Olympic bronze, while Dan O'Brien stayed home. The pole vault failure surprised Dan O'Brien and the whole track and field world, and maybe it was a very painful experience for him. Now maybe you are experiencing some strange or surprising or painful twists and turns in your own life. Maybe things outside your control are threatening to bowl you over. Maybe some bad choices you have made are coming back to haunt you. Maybe, despite your best efforts, things are not working out and you feel like a failure. Well, no matter their cause, they cannot separate us from God. That's the good news. Our loving God knows what we're going through. Jesus, who promised in Matthew 28 to be with us always, Jesus is indeed right there beside us as we face our challenges, our failures, our times of darkness. Even though I walk through the deepest, darkest valley, says the psalmist, the valley of the shadow of death, I know you, O God, are with me. Or think of 2 Corinthians, where God promises to Paul that my grace, God's grace, is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in your weakness. Our God promises to walk with us through the tough times of life and to bring us through them. Now, there is a happy ending for poor Dan O'Brien. He qualified for the 1996 Olympics in Atlanta 4 years later, and that time he won the gold medal. May God lead you through your challenges, and may you have the strength of faith and perseverance to win the prize, the gold medal of life and faith. For St. Patrick's Church, I'm Steve Page.